Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Boundaries with Lisa Richmond. I'm Lisa Richmond, and this is Tarot Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning guest, thank you so much for your love and support. I come here every Tuesday to do intuitive readings for the collective using tarot and oracle cards to help illustrate any messages that is to come through for this collective timeless reading. So if you find this, it is timeless, it will have a message for you, and it's just supposed to be more confirmation for your intuitive self, for your higher self that already knows this information, and it could elicit an internal knowing or maybe a confirmation of something in which you've been looking to seek answers for. Okay, so this is not intended to change, alter, or persuade anybody's intuitive direction that they're guiding themselves. This is for you to use as intuitive guidance for you. So you interpret the cards how they are for you, and I just bring through the messages that's coming through me. And then sometimes they're specific for somebody who's watching for sure, and sometimes it's more of a collective energy. So take what you will, what resonates, and leave the rest, okay? So today I'm going to start off with the Wisdom of Oracle deck. This is a really great deck to be able to just tune in to see I want to say the relevance of what is coming through for you. Look, I gotta start off here. It's been a week. This past week has been cray. It has been very, very, very turbulent in some ways. The veil is thin, yet emotions are running wild, where normally messages will come through really clearly, may be coming through a little distorted or not at all. And then at times we get these like powerful messages that come through. What is this? Oh, I'm sorry. There's like this mark on my crystal ball that's like, oh, okay. That's weird. Okay, sorry. Hold on, there's a message here. I just want to bring through a message for the collective before we bring in the cards. Okay, so Spirit wants to bring awareness into everybody's auric fields, like where we kind of tune into our own spiraled energetic field that runs down from source through our spine all the way down into Gaia. Drawing attention into your own personal energy field to tune into the messages that are coming through for you. And almost like what is elicited, it lights up within you, and you know this message is for you. Also, pay attention to any of the physical confirmations that might come through in a physical manner. And also, your body's trying to tell you things. So it's like our physical bodies are really tuned in right now online. And so Spirit's saying, draw attention to what's going on with your body physically and have twice as much compassion as you already are. So if you're already resting more or having compassion more, twice as much compassion. Okay, and if you are feeling any physical ailments or like fatigue or anything that's kind of going on physically, Spirit wants to draw your attention to this physical part. And all I'm saying, like, I'm not even pretending to be any kind of doctor giving any kind of medical advice. I'm an intuitive, and I'm giving intuitive messaging. But Spirit is talking about taking more like a compassionate role to yourself physically. So less is more. Okay, so this is like a very strong message for the collective. Okay, Spirit, what messages want to come through with these oracle cards? It's Mercury retrograde. This is the kind of funky feeling. Yeah, okay. So let's just sit in this energy for a bit and be guided. Spirit, what do you want the collective to hear for the viewers tuning in today? We got here and now. Yep. Okay. Okay, and is there one more? We got 3. Okay, so these 2 came out together. So 3, 4, 5 cards, but these last 2 are to come out together. So we're going to start with the here and now. Number 32. This is a card bringing attention into the here and now. So what I was feeling too is this like massive grounding energy that's coming through, and that's why Spirit was talking about our physical bodies and how our physical, like our 3D, like physical dense body is the last to catch up in big energetic upgrades and shifts. And because we've been going through these massive upgrades, timeline shifts, quantum understandings coming online in a new frequency, our body is kind of the last to catch up. So with a lot of the physical stuff that's going on right now, even if you're not feeling it yet, but you can kind of feel like a little bit almost like wiry, like not shaky so much, but almost like there's like an electrical current almost like vibrating. Okay, what Spirit is wanting with the here and the now too is to like be in this moment and to ground ourselves right here and pay attention to the current gifts and messages that are coming through right now for you. Okay, so there's like these arrows that are like past, and she's got this like red flag, and she's like, hello, right here, right? Like Spirit's wanting to draw your attention to the right now, because there's so much happening for us to get into the cosmic direction of our messaging that takes us into a very futuristic perspective, and also kind of going into our past that has been brought up through dream state or understandings of old traumas or situation. It's because there's so much shifting, and we're like collecting like old aspects of self and bringing it into the right now in order to go forward. We're kind of in that in between, but because that's right now, they're saying like draw attention right now, because your physical body needs to catch up. Our physical vessel needs to catch up and be able to be rested, restored, and integrated into the new frequency before the next phase happens. So the right here, right now is drawing, that's the message that came through first, was like pay attention to the right here and the right now of our physical body and what's right in front of us. Because any signs, synchronicities, validations are going to happen very close to home, very much in our awareness, in our physical body. We could even be doing very like 3D earth things, and like making dinner, let's say, and we're using the ingredients like you know, fresh vegetables, or ingredients of a higher vibration, and we're working with that, but not to get too far out of the right here right now in our thoughts. So like be very mindful of like what is right in front of you, what you're doing. Maybe give thanks for the fresh vegetables in which you're preparing for dinner, or maybe it's even like some of the mundane things like cleaning your house and getting it all prepped in order for you to like decorate for Christmas or something like that. Like not to get too taken in by like what's going next and what's happening. And they're saying like really draw attention to the right here, right now, because more or less our physical bodies have to be integrated right now. And the more that we can focus on our present moment and our present like integration of energies into our physical body right now, the easier it will be for us to regulate, transmute old energies, and be able to like upgrade into the frequency needed to move forward. Which brings us into our next card, which is number 39, New Life. So this is like a spring card, okay? This is like she's breaking free, she's breaking out of the egg, she's like stretching out of that like hibernation mode of what is transpiring through like the depths of winter. And so the here and the now is kind of getting us through that, and getting us through some of the old energies that we're pulling forward, that we're like the old resonance that we're bringing in and integrating into our being now. And that's great that it's happening through winter, because winter is a time to kind of hibernate and bring that inwards for us to be able to do all those things. The thing that we do a lot of times over winter and like Christmas season and stuff is we don't do that and we overexert ourselves and then we get really sick and our body feels it, right? So that's what this message is all about, is like integrating, transmuting the energy, being less is more, coming inside more, really feeling that connection to oneself is going to help us to be able to then come out of it in the spring. And I'm not saying that this is only going to happen in the spring. This new life is birthed from the integration of the right here and the right now. So this, although you might not feel like you're getting a ton of messages from spirit or you're getting a ton of understanding, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And the best way to be able to birth these new creations and step forward in these new opportunities that are absolutely coming your way is the here and now, and is that integration and the transmutation of all the energies coming in. And that's being still with ourselves, okay? Moving into new life, then that is, it's like, that's what gives us the ability to birth these new creations, to come up with these new intuitive ideas and start fresh. There's a lot coming down the pipe, a lot coming down the pipe. And for you to be able to be truly ready for it is going to determine how much you allow that integration time to happen, okay? So there's definitely something coming forward for you, but it's like if you go to seek it before it's ready, it's like trying to break a butterfly out of its cocoon too early. And this new life is absolutely occurring, but it needs that integration, transmutation time that is occurring like right now. Enchanted Gifts is the next card that comes up, because that is what is kind of being birthed. I feel like there's a big energy being birthed that comes from that new life card. That energy that's being birthed is it's almost like your soul's has been holding on to this, waiting for the time that it's right for you to be able to be birthed this new opportunity. So that might come in the form of like a spiritual understanding, an intuitive download that comes through, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I have these messages that come through, or all of a sudden maybe a mediumship part of yourself is starting to be birthed. I'm feeling like new opportunities to walk into the Akashic records and understand how to seek out information through Akashic records, or like enchanting gifts that come through from your like soul's blueprint of what you came in this life to do, like a dharma energy, but you had no idea about it until it's like being birthed into this new energy, but it needed to wait until the energy was right. And that's why if you get there on a spiritual level, but your physical body hasn't caught up yet, your physical vessel has to be able to take in and maintain the frequency that comes from your overlying soul, that energetic frequency. Your body has to be able to function in that. And so that's why it's really important to give it this time of maturation to be able to be ready for these new gifts to come through, which are very much coming through, and you'll probably start to see them in 2025, these enchanting gifts that come forward. It's almost like you've been sitting on these like sacred knowledge or gifts or intuitive knowings. It's almost like a rebirth of self or an upgrade from your higher self that's coming through. Okay, so I really feel like there's some big energies coming forward, but it's really important that you take the time now to integrate these energies, okay? And then the last two cards that are coming through together was higher power and TikTok, which is like, oh my God, that's so much like the higher power is this frequency, this new energy that's being birthed through these gifts that are coming through you, and this sacred knowledge, this higher power wisdom, like you are integrating, or it's almost like you've upgraded, you've graduated into a higher level consciousness, and all of a sudden you're starting to like interact with new guidance team, or even, and it's not even that you'll like all of a sudden see these guys just show up and you see them in that way. It's like all of a sudden this new understanding or this new knowledge comes through, and you're working within this new set of energetic frequencies and new energy in which you're integrating and communicating with. But TikTok, this isn't like time is running out. Excuse me, you guys, I have a bunch of energy running through me right now. Whew. Okay. TikTok means time isn't running out. It means it's in divine timing. And so this higher power is coming through, is showing this lighting up in your third eye. It's almost like that, it's like almost like this new rhythm, this new algorithm in which your body or your frequency is moving at. It's like you've upgraded into this, like, this new consistency that's generating through your energetic field, is what they're saying. They're using a lot of words that I wouldn't normally use, but in divine timing. You can't rush it. Like you can't rush an avocado. You can't rush this. This is very important, and you absolutely will come online with these new energies and this new frequency, these new gifts that you're here to do and hold and teach and learn. And some of us are teachers, some of us are healers, some of us are doers, generators, you know. Some of us are here simply to reflect back to people what they need to see or feel in order to direct them closer to the light of creation, right? We're all here with different gifts and a different string and line to follow through it. But this is all about you waking up to these gifts, integrating them, understanding them. But it's not a rush. We're not on a timer. You are connected in this divine timeline. You're following this red string of divine guidance. But the here and now is what's the most important, because if you don't do that now, then the rest doesn't unravel in the way it should. You can't rush the avocado. You've got to be able to really stay and integrate, and that's why your body is needing that right now. Your body is needing the energy to integrate. Okay, so don't rush the avocado. Okay, let's see what the tarot cards have to say as far as if there's further messages, although that was really clear. Like I could just stop there, but I'm going to keep going. All right, through the tarot deck, what can you show us, Spirit? I've got like 4 beings here who are like, I don't usually work with. It's like they're like 4 like, I guess, quadruplets. Like they're 4 identical energy systems. It feels like they're like, no, we're not identical, but very close. That's what it feels like. Okay, Ace of Swords. Ooh. It's like cutting your path, right? It's like shaving in the new path. They're showing me with the Ace of Swords. It's like, you know, when you, I don't know, for some of you never hang out. I'm in frozen Canada. So for us, it's like when you pull up to a place and you have to get there and they just had this big dump of snow and like you have to cut the path and it's like snow up to your knees and you're like, okay, I'm going to cut the path so that, you know, the rest of the team can follow through and like we can get through. And so the Ace of Swords is like cutting the path right now for this energy field that you're moving forward. So the path has never been cut before. Like you've never walked down this path before. And if you have, it's completely different. And so the Ace of Swords is like you're starting, but not only are you starting fresh, you're the one that's cutting the path. You're the one that's making the first steps in this direction. So don't worry if there aren't people right beside you, like cutting the path with you. You might be solo driving this for a hot minute, but that's okay. It's supposed to be like that. Just trust that you've got everything you need to be able to get to where you're going. You're cutting the path because you're the one who got there first. You're the one who's supposed to cut this path because it's your path. Okay, so like they're saying like you got it, like you've got everything you need, but just know that the path isn't already like cut for you. I have these pop. I don't think these are. Okay, what else do we need to see, Spirit? Okay, so also with the 8 of Swords, take a look at the imagery here that might resonate for you. So we've got a unicorn here jumping up, and then it looks like the unicorn's like going towards like almost like a crescent moon. But then the sword underneath the unicorn has these rings on it. So it's almost like that game where you go and you're catching the rings. But then it's coming from this sunshine, and it's almost like the sun card. When the sun comes out, it's like it's illuminating the path for you, and that you can keep going, keep finding these golden nuggets. Okay, so like trust. See, and it almost even looks like this unicorn's going through snow on one side towards the light, but it's saying like trust the path. It's like it's being guided in a higher level frequency, and you got this. Okay, the next card is the mentor, which is the Hierophant, which keeps coming. And I really feel like this is all about your spiritual guidance. When we talk about new life, enchanted gifts, and higher power from the wisdom of the oracle that came before, that's all about working with the mentor, right? That the Hierophant in traditional tarot deck was very much like the priest, or, you know, the religious figure that like is top dog. This is the mentor, meaning like it could be a mentor that you're working alongside, maybe working to increase your spiritual gifts. Maybe this is somebody that you've reached out to that you want to talk to about accessing Akashic records. This could be the mentor in a vision, like when you go into a meditation and these guidance team comes forward and they're helping you guide into what you need to do, how to receive the channel, maybe writing it down. The mentor is very much about trusting the guidance that comes through on this spiritual quest that you're on. Less is more. Again, they keep emphasizing less is more. Okay, this isn't like Knight of Wands. I'd love to see the Knight of Wands come in. No, they're saying it's not. It's an integration process. The Knight of Wands might come after, but you okay, hold on. Okay, Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a rest card. It's like if you have been doing, the Four of Swords is like, give yourself a rest. It's time to like just chill out for a minute and hibernate. Four of Swords is totally resting. And during this resting period is when you're going to have a lot of these spiritual insights, okay? Anything else, Spirit, that you need to talk to us about? Oh. Okay. I'm not surprised to see. Okay, so the last two cards we get in this pull is Death and Tower. So the Death card is obviously, there's a lot of old that's going out with this, and there's a lot of shedding of the old. And I think that during the time of Death and Tower, it's an indication that there's a lot of old structures that are coming down. But here's the thing. When you have your ability to maintain your own level of your like Hierophant energy, or your mentor energy, your higher self, that connecting into the here and the now, and resting and restoring and being able to like generate your own life force from this place of peace, is when what is happening on the outside in the collective, what is happening is massive tower moments everywhere. The death of the old is literally crumbling in front of us. And when we come in and generate this state of knowing and peace within ourselves, validates more of the crumbling of the old, because then we aren't actually driven by reactivity based on what's happening outside of ourselves. Okay, so really refrain from getting worked up from what you see on the TV, because most of it's generated to elicit fear in the first place. And this isn't just like, you know, conspiracy theorist Lisa talking. This is like fact. I think most of us can actually really validate that we know now that there's a lot that's being given to us, that is being given to us because the fear that would be elicited by the information given helps generate oh God, why did I go down this path? Okay, take me off this path, Spirit. Give me the direction to go with this. Okay, but they're talking about the death in the tower not being necessarily a huge disruption in your own life, into what's going on with you, but it's like the belief systems that were given to us through the 70s, 80s and 90s especially, and then moving forward from that, it's the breaking down of any of our beliefs that were formed during that time that is no longer in energetic alignment. So if we're all of a sudden waking up to to new understandings and belief systems within us, and like we can feel it in our body, we're resonating on a higher frequency, we're dealing with like new guidance system, and then clearly old resonance, like old frequencies and timelines that we used to reside in then, that were given to us from the societal norms that we grew up in, they're crumbling. There's a death of that. There's a death of us looking to one leader of a country to like give us the answers. We're like, no, this resonates and this doesn't. I'm going to make this choice and do this because I no longer am like following blindly from old things. That's just life. That's just growing and evolving, right? You can say, I no longer do this because I discovered a way that works better for me. You can apply that to almost anything. So what they're talking about with this is we're waking up to our own understanding personally. So by taking care of ourselves in the here and the now, we are waking up to a frequency and a timeline of a higher resonance, and that we essentially designed for ourselves. We're cracking out into this, right? Therefore, there is a death in a tower of the old paradigm that we like broke out of. It can feel shaky. Heck, it can even like physically disrupt our bodies to the point where we're like, I gotta totally change the way in which I care for my body, right? Instead of lifting heavy weights, I'm now swimming. Instead of eating red meat, I'm now, I don't know, having soup. I don't know. There's going to be a change. There is a change, and the whole thing here is about you understanding that your own evolution is happening. You're not crazy. Your body is doing different things, but like ground into it, hone into the fact that you really deeply designed yourself to be here at this time, to be able to experience this for your evolution, the evolution of your higher self, for your soul, and for the life in which you designed yourself to maneuver through. This is all beautiful. It feels hectic, but if you zone into that right now and you know that the collective is crumbling and there's the death of the old, the more that you just like tune into your truest form of self and give yourself this time right now, it's very important to take this time to just come in and surround yourself, whether it's the stuff that you're listening to, the people that you're talking to, surround yourself with the energy that you need, right? If it feels heavy, don't do it. If it generates or elicits a feeling within your body, like someone I love very deeply, every time she's interacting with a frequency of that old vibration, she'll feel it in her chest, she'll start coughing like crazy because in her heart space, she's releasing the resonance, the deep buildup of that resonance of that old frequency. And so when it comes up, it's like, like I'm releasing that as my truth, subconsciously, of course. Okay, I'm going to move on. The Sacred Force Oracle is the last oracle deck that we're going to take from Spirit. Can you leave us on a note to help the collective understand and integrate this beautiful message that you so gracefully brought through today? Okay, flow. I like that. Okay, number 24. I feel like the beautiful path that we're following is right in front of us. Again, another sun shining through, coming through that meadow. There's like sparkling that's elicited kind of higher energy that's moving through. It's almost like the Merlin is opening up, helping to open up this beautiful like portal of energy so that we can like ride the fluidity of life. Okay, I'm gonna read this for you guys and see how it resonates. When life presents you a meandering path rather than a straight shot to a goal, you can feel frustrated. You might, the fact that the path seems aimless and a roundabout, and that you can't see what's ahead. On the other hand, you can just enjoy the voyage. If life right now seems to have some sinuous curves, bends, loops, and turns, don't despair. All is as it should be. This card is suggesting that you relinquish control to the path forward and just see where it takes you. This is the path I'm talking about, forging your own path, okay? You don't have to have all the answers to succeed. You don't need to know what holds to have in the future. Simply sit back and enjoy the ride. You'll get to exactly where you need to be for your highest good. Okay. And then the spiritual meaning of this card is everything falls into place when you don't resist the flow of the meandering pathway of life. Allow the path to take you where you need to go. Don't hurry it or resist it. Simply let go, surrender, and enjoy the journey. Yeah, that can be hard sometimes though, hey? How many times have we heard, like, just surrender, just go with the flow? Yeah, I like to go with the flow, right? But then the perspective in which we see our life is all designed in different ways based on our own personal experiences. So if somebody says, just relax and just surrender, that could elicit like serious, like safe feelings because, you know, maybe in the past, we've had to really make sure that we know what's going on in our life so that we don't feel out of control or that situations don't come up without us being able to anticipate them because it can actually like infringe on our sense of safety, right? Like a lot of us can just releasing and relinquishing control can be tricky. And so I really want to acknowledge that. I want to acknowledge that in your path, it might not be so easy to just roll with it and go with the flow and relinquish control. But I want you to know that you're very, very strongly protected. And that when you want to hit those points of releasing maybe some of the control or surrender to what is to come without having to know all the answers, just ask your divine guidance team right now to help you feel safe and secure in your surrender. And that might be a part of, relaxing a little bit and resting and restoring and doing the things that you might need to do to feel relaxed and like reduce stressors in your life and help your nervous system kind of come down a couple notches in order for you to start releasing and letting yourself surrender in the first place. So your message here is really trust that you are very divinely guided and divinely protected, and that you can surround yourself with the beautiful energy of this golden light frequency to surround your energy field to help you feel protected in this almost hibernation mode. So that when you do come forward and it's time for you to come forward and break out of this kind of shell right after this time, that you know that you can feel that guidance and that protection. So come into your body. Maybe repeat some affirmations. I'm safe. I'm protected. I ask my guidance team to step forward today in helping me feel safe and secure in my energy, and that my path forward be directed with love and grace and ease in order for my truest self to come into contact with the light of source to guide my way forward. I send this to you with a lot of love, and there's a lot of angelic presence around today that is bringing forward this message in different channels for different people, and I know this because I can feel it. It's not all from me, that's for sure. So if this resonated, please like and subscribe if you're not already, because you could be watching this and not be subscribed and you could never see my stuff again, and that would be a shame. Because I feel like if you saw this today and you resonate, there's a lot of energies here helping guide individuals who are watching this. So it helps me, it helps the channel, help you, and hopefully the greater good, honestly, because that's what this is for. This is for the greater good. So I'm sending you this with love. Take it easy, take care of yourself, tune into your body, and trust that you are on your path. You're just forging it. It's different. Just trust, okay? I love you all very, very much. Sending you so much peace. And I'll see you next week for another reading. Bye, guys.